The 2024 NFL season had plenty of good, plenty of bad, and, yeah, plenty of ugly.
I mean, it was 33-0. We were sitting there, and I said at some point, probably go to Tyrod here, huh?
So, with the postseason quickly approaching, how about we dive into 5 reasons why the 2024 NFL regular season was epic and memorable, and 5 why it straight up sucked. Epic? RBs strike back. So much for the running back position declining and devaluing. Fans who've watched football long enough know that winning the offseason means nothing when the regular season rolls around. Just look at the 2011 Dream Team Philadelphia Eagles or this year's New York Jets. But there have been some beautiful reminders that free agency and the trade market can make the ultimate difference if you spend your money accordingly, and on the right players. In 2024 especially, running backs have proven this. The Philadelphia Eagles gave Saquon Barkley a 3-year deal worth $37.75 million in free agency. Barkley followed it up by posting a career year, one that would probably net him MVP honors if the award wasn't so biased towards quarterbacks. Looking to beef up the ground game around Lamar Jackson, the Ravens handed Derrick Henry a 2-year deal worth $16 million. Henry and Barkley have been neck and neck for the rushing title all season long, with the former proving that the before 30 wall doesn't hit every running back. Josh Jacobs got a 4-year deal from the Green Bay Packers, who hardly spend in free agency, and Jacobs has returned to the form of the guy who won the 2022 rushing title, adding another explosive element to the Jordan Love-led offense. Following his release from Green Bay, new Minnesota Viking Aaron Jones hit the 1K mark for the 4th time in his career, proving he wasn't a product of the Dallas Cowboys O-line, and Tony Pollard crossed 1K as a Tennessee Titan in year 1 of a $24 million deal. Joe Mixon solidified the Texans' long-struggling ground game. Chuba Hubbard got a new deal in the midst of a career year. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs poked fun at the critics who couldn't believe that they were drafted so early in 2023. Eesh, there's a lot of value in running backs after all, huh? Sucked? The disaster in Gotham. Look, love or hate Aaron Rodgers, there is no denying that the NFL is more exciting when he's at the top of his game. And it's better for the league when at least one of the New York Giants or New York Jets is actually relevant. Rodgers' return from a season-ending Achilles tear a year ago was supposed to elevate the Jets to Super Bowl contender. When they got off to a sluggish start, GM Joe Douglas finally reunited Rodgers and Davante Adams by acquiring the all-pro wide receiver and a blockbuster deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. But everything that could go wrong for the Jets this year has indeed gone wrong. Head coach Robert Saleh was fired after a Week 5 loss in London, with Douglas receiving his own pink slip a few weeks later. It's been reported that Jets owner Woody Johnson lobbied for the team to bench Rodgers. And get this, he reportedly vetoed an offseason trade for Jerry Jeudy because his EA Sports Madden rating was too low. Instead of competing for a playoff spot, the Jets have somehow finished worse than the 2022 and 2023 squads with Zach Wilson as their main quarterback. With all that talent on both sides of the ball and with a 4-time MVP behind center, the Jets have somehow become the biggest laughingstock in football. Epic? Jaden Daniels immediately saves the Commanders. Year 1 of the post-Dan Snyder era in Washington was hardly exciting, except for the fact that Dan Snyder was finally gone. Washington won just 4 games and finished with the 2nd worst record in football in 2023. New owner Josh Harris wasted no time cleaning house, bringing in ex-Dallas Cowboys DC Dan Quinn as their new head coach, and former San Francisco 49ers executive Adam Peters. With the number 2 pick in 2024, the Commanders drafted LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels. And as talented as the guy is, nobody really thought the C's would amount to much in year 1 of a rebuild. Yet, lo and behold, the Commanders have emerged as a force in the NFC, and it's largely thanks to an MVP-caliber season from Daniels himself. From out-dueling Joe Burrow in Cincinnati on Monday night, to the Hail Mary walk-off versus Caleb Williams' Bears, to the last-second heroics versus Philly in Week 16, Daniels is having a rookie year on par with a Christopher Nolan action-packed thriller. Washington is finally relevant again. Snyder is gone. They have the right management and coaching staff in place. Oh, and a new young phenom quarterback to build around for years to come. So, unless you cheer for the Eagles, Cowboys, or Giants, you probably gotta love what you're seeing in DC. Sucked? The AFC South. With the AFC South, just consider the division outlook heading into Week 1. The Houston Texans were ready to make that next leap after adding Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, and Danielle Hunter to a promising young core led by CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Will Anderson Jr., and Derek Stingley Jr. The Jacksonville Jaguars were supposed to bounce back from a disappointing disappointing 9-8 finish after adding Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, and Eric Armstead to their own young nucleus. The Indianapolis Colts went 9-8 last year with Gardner Minshew II as their main quarterback, so surely a healthy Anthony Richardson would help keep them in contention, right? Expectations were pretty dang low for the Tennessee Titans, but even they're worse than most had envisioned. And as for the rest of the division, Houston unraveled in the second half following an excellent 6-2 start. The Jaguars have been absolutely unwatchable all year long. The Colts have just been a mediocre bunch, with Richardson yet to showcase himself as a true franchise QB. So hey, congrats to the Texans on winning the AFC South. Now you get to enjoy being blown out in the wild card round. Epic? QBs are silencing the haters. We only have so many entries here, so allow us to devote one to the many quarterbacks who defied expectations this year. That's got to start off with Minnesota Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold, who pulled a 2023 Baker Mayfield by enjoying a career year with his new team. Nobody really thought much when the Vikings signed Darnold to a one-year deal in free agency, but he became the starter by default after rookie J.J. McCarthy required season-ending surgery. Yep, here's Darnold playing like an MVP and leading the Vikings to a stunning playoff berth. Folks expected a step back from Josh Allen and his Bills following the departures of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. But instead, Allen has put together the best season of his career and will surely culminate in NFL MVP honors. Proving that he wasn't washed, Russell Wilson has elevated the Steelers' offense and guided them back to the postseason. Not too bad for a guy who had to sign a one-year deal worth the veteran's minimum. Some love has to go to Denver Broncos rookie QB Bo Nix as well, who guided the team to their first winning season since 2016. On another note, how about Bryce Young shedding the early bust label by finally breaking out in the second half of the season? Man, what a year it was for QBs who were largely written off or expected to regress considerably. Sucked? Weekday games. My goodness, Murphy, what a waste of time the majority of these weekday games were. We're talking Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and the 2 yawn fests on Christmas Day, which happened to fall on a Wednesday this year. 5 Thursday Night Football games were decided by double-digit points. In terms of one-score games, the Rams beating the 49ers 12-6 in Week 15, the Seahawks beating the Bears 6-3 in Week 17? Ah, jeez, come on, give us a break. 2 of the 3 Thanksgiving Day games were also worth skipping unless you had fantasy football implications. Kansas City beat Pittsburgh 29-10 on Christmas Day, and then hours later, Baltimore bested Houston 31-2. Wow, exciting. Oh, and of course, all the Monday Night Football was more disappointing than the last Star Wars movie. Yeah, let's just all hope that next year's weekday games go a little bit better. Epic? The rapid rise of the rookies. Even if your NFL team sucked this year, at least most of you got to enjoy the immediate production out of your first-year players. The Bears were a disaster this year, but Caleb Williams looks every bit like the franchise QB that this team needed. We touched base on Jaden Daniels' MVP caliber rookie year and Bo Nix's unexpected success in year 1 with the Broncos, but we'll mention them one last time anyway. And how about Drake May slinging it left, right, and center on a hapless New England Patriots team while we're at it? There's another team that has its franchise QB. Brock Bowers had the best rookie season ever for a tight end on a mostly unwatchable Raiders team. On defense, let's give hat tips to Chop Robinson, Jared Verse, and Braden Fisk. Oh, and how about that new Eagles super corner duo of Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell? Hey, jolly good show by the rookie chaps in 2024. Sucked? The refs ruined the fun again. Nobody can be surprised that officials have once again dominated the storylines. But is it just us, or has 2024 especially been a terrible year of officiating? The Kansas City haters will remind you of all the mind-numbing calls that went their way. Not a good look that Walt Anderson admitted to 2 costly mistakes by the refs in the Commanders-Eagles Week 11 game. How about Byron Young's game-sealing sack and safety on Sam Darnold made possible by a blatant face mask that the officials missed? Hang in there, folks. One day the NFL officiating may be better and stop taking over games. Epic? The NFC North reigns supreme. In some ways, you really got a feel for the playoff-bound Packers. If they were in most other divisions, they would have locked up the crown well before Christmas. But alas, Matt LaFleur's star-studded group is merely the 3rd best team in a historically good 2024 division. I mean, consider this. The Packs, Lions, and Vikings all had 9+ wins through Week 13. It's insane that either Detroit or Minnesota will be on the road in the postseason with 13 or 14 wins. And hey, even the Bears were 4-2 at one point. What a fun 3-way horse race this division will be for years to come. Sucked? The injury bug that wouldn't go away. As entertaining as the regular season was, you can't help but wonder how different things would look right now if so many key players just didn't suffer so many injuries. For starters, the San Francisco 49ers bid for a return to the Super Bowl was crushed by injuries. Christian McCaffrey was limited to 4 games, Brandon Ayuk played 7 games before suffering a season-ending injury, Trent Williams missed nearly half the year, defensive stars Talanoa Hufanga, Javon Hargrave, and Dre Greenlaw all missed most of 2024 too. The Dallas Cowboys lost Dak Prescott for the year after 8 games with a hamstring injury that required surgery. Tua Tagovailoa's concussion sidelined him for 4 games and ended Miami's postseason hopes. Not to mention Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb's injuries that also derailed Miami's season. Star receivers Rashee Rice, Chris Godwin, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs all suffered gruesome season-ending injuries as well. Look, we know injuries happen every year, but 2024 really was a year of suckery on this front. But hey, why else was the 2024 NFL season epic, and why do you think it sucked? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.